Hi, welcome to the Whiskey Chicks podcast. My name is Amy.
And I'm Amy's sister, Suzie.
We are going to be talking to you about Whiskey Chicks. You may ask yourself, what in the world is a Whiskey Chick? Well, it's a term our Nana, our grandmother, used to describe anything and everything, like a doodad or a thingamajig.
For our purposes today, Amy and I have framed Whiskey Chicks as those random moments in life that accumulate over time that compel us to grow, learn, and evolve. Whether it's good, bad, ugly, funny, or sad, with each Whiskey Chick comes a lesson, an aha moment, a lotus blooming from the mud and muck, resulting in wisdom and healing.
Whiskey Chicks have brought us both to a place in our lives where we love ourselves and speak our truths. The last thing Nana said to me before she passed on was, "Be true to yourself, little A." That was the nickname she had for me. The angel spoke straight through her in that moment, and I knew I had quite a journey ahead of me. It was that Whiskey Chick, the last Whiskey Chick she delivered, that set me off on an incredible growth journey. She is the force behind this creative endeavor. We dedicate every Whiskey Chick to her. We're grateful you're here.
Hello, and welcome back to the Whiskey Chicks podcast. I'm Suzie.
And I'm Amy.
And here we are for episode 25.
That's all it's been. Seems like it's been more than that.
That's nice of you to say. Feels like forever with you. Anyway, you all might be thinking it's been a minute since Amy and I have put up an episode, and you'd be right. But there is a really good, I won't say reason, but why that has happened is Amy and I have both had some pretty significant changes and things occurring in both of our individual lives that just have made us sort of pause for not reflection. Well, there's been some of that.
Pause for major life changes. How about that?
Pause for life changes here. But we kind of just decided that today we were going to touch on the fact that we have spoken quite a bit in previous episodes about things, tools, books, whatever we have used to bring us to a place where when you're faced with things in life, maybe, no, I'm not going to make any sense. They're easier to navigate because you've done some healing or some trauma work and stuff like that. And so that's kind of, Amy and I, we live our own research, and we're sharing that with you. And so we're just going to kind of, without giving you too much in our private lives, going to just kind of tell you how we've been, I won't say following our own advice, but
No, it's true. We're living we're practicing what we preach.
That's right. Preach. Oh, preach. But, I want to say this. So you and I were not close growing up.
No.
You're 5 years older than me. When you were 15 and I was 10, I was just non-existent to you. You were in a different realm. I'm not saying you didn't ever love me, but just, we all had a lot of shit going on when we were younger, and you had shit that was going on at age, 5 years ahead of where I was. So we just never really connected as sisters. And that actually didn't happen until I was in my 30s, right?
Yeah.
Or later. I don't know.
Much later in life. And I think too, while we did not have a nuclear family either. I think that our family, just in general, we just weren't the Ozzie and Harriet scenario. Mm-mm. I'm sorry, I just dated myself. What's a more recent family that's kind of nuclear? But it wasn't the traditional mom, dad, kids. We've talked about this many, many times, but just to kind of put some merit in Susie's point, I think that, all three of us, Mike, herself, and I were, we were all just kind of out for ourselves just because of our home environment. It just,
We were trying to survive.
we were trying. Yeah. I mean, I just don't think our environment was conducive to sibling bonding. It just wasn't. And so Suzie and I had to discover how to do that on our own later in life.
Yeah.
So
totally. So it wasn't until many years later, I mean, of you and I, living opposite ends of the country, and, you're married and having a kid, and I'm whatever. I'm always been whatever. It's been this nomadic soul rolling around the country and all that stuff. But I think it's safe to say that a trigger point in life for you and I was maybe when I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2013. I think that was something that hit all of us kind of hard. And I think things slowly started rolling that way. My point to this long-winded point, the point to this long-winded point is that, there's been a series of events that the universe has faced us with to bring us to the point where we're at now.
Yeah.
And we both had and still have things we are trying to work on from past traumas in life and what we were dealing with growing up. And, but now we've gotten to the point where we realize we have, even though you and I are very different in good ways, that we do have this common ground, and it all has to do with the healing.
Yeah.
Because we use the same sort of whatever tools, books, rituals, if you will, for healing. But that's all more like getting to know your authentic self and soul. And then, you're in life and you're realizing, holy crap, like I'm at this age and I'm not happy with the person that I am. I'm scared to make changes. And, because it's like you are all growing up, and then you get to the point where you think, I don't actually know myself, and you want to become this other person, which happens to be your authentic self. That is not eloquently said, but in that process, you and I have become quite close.
But what had to happen first is, I think what makes us different, that you and I, compared to other members of the family, is that both of us were up to the task, essentially. I mean, we were willing and desiring growth and evolution and self-discovery and healing. Because as Suzie has said, we have said many, many times over the 25 podcasts that we've done, or 24, 25, including this one, it has taken decades, years and years and years. This is not something that happened overnight, but I do believe I kind of got the ball rolling. I started having epiphanies, and I started talking to Suzie about it, and she just kind of rolled right along with me. I mean, everything that I was saying, going through, whatever, it resonated with her. And we started to have these epiphanies together, and we started talking and talking and talking and comparing notes and on the phone for 2-3 hours at a time. And just over the years, it's just, we realized that we're on the same trajectory. We both, our souls needed to accomplish the same thing. We had so many things that we both had to heal. We've gone about it different ways. And that's just based on our own personal karma that we came into this world with. But as sisters, we discovered that we had a lot of the same things that we had to heal in order to become our higher selves, or just more productive in our own lives. So this has been years and years and years and years. But in order for this to happen, the closeness and all of that, both people had to be in agreement to do this together. Suzie was just as ready for it as I was. So, it's been it's been so amazing to have someone to do this with, because it is not easy work. It's not easy. And there's a lot of sacrifices along the way. You lose people, you lose experiences, I mean, it's tough work. It's really tough work.
That's true. It's tough. Of course, the silly part of me is like, it's tough twerk. I can't help myself. But, I think it's interesting also that everything you just said is pretty much the reason why we started this podcast. That and Nana inspiring us. And I think she's been a guiding force this whole time, obviously. And, but anyway, you've had some stuff going on. I've had some stuff going on. And I want to just really say, I truly mean this when I say this, that nothing is bad that happens to you. That's just your perception of it. Mm-hmm. And so even if it feels that way, and, if I have been, you've been going through some changes that has triggered changes in my life, changes I'm making to my health and my lifestyle here. And, being in that, I needed some space. I think we both needed space because we're both adjusting to certain things right now, of just like hiding a bit and taking care of number one and all that. So that's why we've disappeared for a little while. But within that, we have been staying true to ourselves, as our tagline says, by having all this unconditional trust and taking leaps of faith blindly in some instances, because there is so much trust that the universe has our back, and that if we fall, we're protected no matter what.
Yeah. One thing I learned recently is that, I technically am not in control. I've been truly tested in having faith. We've talked about the divine plan. We've talked about divine timing, divine order. And I was truly tested in my faith and all that recently. And I am so overwhelmingly grateful that I took a huge leap of faith, and it's what the universe wanted me to do, because everything just kind of rolled and fell into place. And for the first time, it wasn't, I kind of had a picture in my mind of how it should all work out. I had a plan. And when part of that plan didn't come to be, then I thought, okay, well, the whole thing just went to shit. But then Suzie said something to me, and then I got further validation about it. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Half of the plan is already done. I need to just move forward and trust that the universe will take care of the rest. And that's exactly what happened. And so the overwhelming sense of gratitude, and now even if I didn't trust the divine plan before, man, do I trust it now. I mean, or it's taken it to a whole other level for me. So leaps of faith, when you get all the signs, set your plans down and just follow the trail of popcorn and trust that it's all going to be okay. It really will be okay. Especially when you're getting signs to go or to do, So I guess the point to all this is that we really are practicing what we speak about. And I recently had some things fall into place that just proved to me even more that it is just so damn important to have faith in the divine plan and in divine timing too. So,
and also that is your relationship with the universe, with just, without regard for the people that are that weave in and out of our lives that are along for the ride, that come in to teach and have purpose. And, you know, sometimes people stay, sometimes they go, sometimes they, like I said, weave in and out when lessons are not completed, karmic lessons. And that goes for all involved. It just really depends on what you believe in. But, you know, you see that, I read that thing all the time that says, like, you know, when things are falling apart, are they actually falling together? You know,
No,
because you're being, it's like, for those of you that know the tarot card, the tower, you know, where it's like the foundation's on fire. It was like, wah, falling on the tower, like, we're all gonna die, you know. So that's that falling apart. But, you know, or even the death card in the tarot, which is more about rebirth than anything else, you know. So again, nothing is ever bad. So if you're in a place in life where you are questioning everything you've ever known, all of your values, everything, your friends, your job, your partner, your living situation, where you are living on planet Earth, if there's one iota of you that is like, I don't know that this is what I want, don't freaking ignore that. Because that is the universe just like poking at you, trying to get your attention. And if you're having those thoughts and you see, if you look out a window when you're having a thought and like a hummingbird goes by or a butterfly or something, don't freaking ignore that. That is all that's the universe like, yes, that's me. I'm here. Pay attention. Give you all these signs, dummy. So, but it is so scary to be so locked into a time or a place or a job or wherever you are in life and think you just completely want to turn that upside down. That is super scary. But that's why we're saying, like, trust in that. Those feelings, your gut, your intuition, we all have intuition, whether or not yours tapped in. You should never ignore that. Those are messages and signs that the universe or your spirit, whatever, is pushing you for your highest good.
Yeah. When you're pretty soon, it's like your soul just starts screaming at you. And you may have been putting something off for a really long period of time. And your human side is taking over. Your mind is taking over. You overthink things. But pretty soon, literally your soul will start screaming at you. And what it's screaming at you about is bigger than anything else in your life, anyone else, any place else, what your soul wants is bigger than anything or anyone. And it may be really difficult to do, but once you get to the point where your soul is just like, dude, you know, we need to take this step. It's like, you got to go, or you got to do it, because it's so difficult to explain unless you felt it before. But at some point, especially if you're sensitive at all, your soul wants what it wants. And that is the divine speaking through you. It is, you are the divine. You are one with the divine. No matter what you believe, we are all divine. And the soul is a part of that. And our souls all have a purpose on this earth. And whatever we don't take care of in this lifetime will carry with us into the next. And so it's just so important to listen and trust. It's hard. It's hard as hell. But it is. It's just, it almost just becomes like you can't argue with it anymore. Internally argue with it anymore. You can't rationalize it anymore, you know? So it's, it just, the soul takes over and just says, okay, come on.
Let's go.
Yep. Seriously.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, but it is, it is scary, and it is okay to be scared, but don't be afraid of moving forward for you. For you. It took us more than half of our lives to cultivate, nurture, and feed the relationships with ourselves, because we were distracted by life up to this point. And that's not selfish. That's actually why you're here. I mean, it's difficult to have healthy relationships with anyone else or anything else if you haven't taken care of the relationship with you and yourself, you yourself and you first.
Yeah.
And that's why you're here. You're a soul in a freaking meat suit. We've said what you say something else. I say meat suit. I forgot. You have something more
like the vehicle or something.
I
don't know.
Divine
but
vehicle. You say divine vehicle.
You have the Hannibal Lecter version
meat
of it.
Suit.
Well, I mean, not Hannibal
Buffalo
Lecter.
Bill.
Buffalo Bill. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know one friend out there that listens to this podcast that's going to give you crap for not getting that
I know.
right.
I'm sorry. My brain's a little fried. Believe me,
That's
I know
okay.
my Silence of the Lambs. I know
That's
it.
okay. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But, well, and again, like truth be told, to be transparent, you and I have been so distracted the last few weeks. We were struggling to find a topic for today, and we just decided to be like, why don't we just like kind of tell people a little bit about what's been going on with us, and that we're not just blowing air out of our mouths. We actually mean what we say, and we're living what we say. And here I'll be a little more transparent personally. So from birth, I have had health issues. Like from the moment I entered this world, I have had health issues. And since age 10, it's been mostly centered around my weight. I've just battled my weight like almost my entire life and tried all sorts of things, blah, 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 to make a painfully long story short. And, as we've stated before, Amy is a registered dietitian. And so that is a valuable tool, obviously, to tap into for me. And, she knows me better than pretty much anyone. But a few weeks ago, I was like, you know what I haven't worked on is my freaking mindset about the whole thing. And which seems like the first thing you should do. Duh. Oh my God. Here, just read this book and do it. It's like, I didn't even, I realized all these decades of trying things to help me balance out my weight, because now, when the lab work comes back, I'm getting the talks, right? Like the cholesterol's up and you're going to be a diabetic soon, and stuff like that. So anyway, I just along with some dietary changes, I've balanced out. I don't want to say I've made changes. I've just sort of balanced some things out. I started doing this thing, and I won't say what it is specifically. It's an app, but it's a mixture of meditation and hypnosis. And they're 20-minute sessions 3 times a week. And I swear to God, 15 minutes of it is the dude just telling me to relax every part of my body. And then he puts these subliminal messages in my head. And I have to tell you, me a month ago would have been bullshit. This does not work. Because every time I've been in a guided meditation and someone's like, so I want you to close your eyes and imagine you're leaning up against a tree and blah, 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 blah. And in my head, I'm like, I really want a cheeseburger. Focus, I'm just I want to meditate on a burger. But anyway, but this isn't like that. And, I work in a grocery store, a high-end grocery store, and every time I walk in the break room, there are these gigantic, storage tubs full of just crap, croissants and danishes and donuts and cookies. And it would be me to just be go in and be what's here today? And guys, I have to tell you, it's been 3 weeks and I have not touched anything on that table without even thinking about it. So I don't know. It's not like I'm like, oh, I can't have it because it's not good for me. I just actually don't even want to lift the lid. I just go in and do my thing and leave. So I'm starting to like see some value in this guy with the weird accent that it tells me to relax my body and then is like, put the chips down. You know, like I don't know, like it's sort of like that, but it's not like that. It's just relaxing. But you know, and in turn, I have started to make time for more things like reading or playing my French horn and, you know, maybe doing more things outside and blah, blah, blah. So I have to say, like, that for me was scary. But again, leap of faith. I just took a leap of faith and, you know, I feel so much better. And, you know, I feel like I'm sleeping better. My moods are better. I feel like, I don't know how to say this another way, but like I'm more in control, or I can make like better decisions about stuff because there's not like emotion driving it. So that can be about food, that can be about relationships, that can be about anything, but it's just more, it's, but I'm saying like the mindset, right? Like, why didn't I think of that?
Your brain is a bunch of, it's electrical circuits. That's all it is. And it needs to just be reprogrammed and rewired a lot of times. And that's why, you know, and meditation isn't for everybody. And, you know, it's nothing you can certainly push anybody into. Someone's got to be open to it. And so I do it every morning. I do it every day. I get up and I do gratitude work and I do meditation and I do some breathing exercises and stuff. And you do your I ams, which is kind of like, I am this, I am that, I am.
Very Popeye of you.
Yeah, I am what I am. But I'm not going to eat any yams, at least not yet. It's not that season. But it's it really helps set the tone for the day, and it helps the programming in the brain. So, you know, when you told me that you were doing that, I'm like, hallelujah. You know, because I think that the mindset is just such an important part. You know, your thoughts become reality. They really do. They drive your actions, your habits. I mean, brain power is it is a superpower, and I don't think we tap into it enough. And it can be for a multitude of things. It's really everything. How you think about your life, your career, you know, having faith, having it around food, around habits, around exercise, sleep, you know, whatever. It all, you can totally program the mind. You can. And meditation and visualization is an awesome way to do it. So, yeah.
But also, piggybacking what you just said is, you know, in that mindset, you have to also believe like you have the capacity. I don't say the power. You have the capacity to change, no matter where. I mean, in this moment, whenever you're ready. I mean, it's like when people like try to quit smoking or whatever. It's like sometimes like I have to quit smoking. Well, it's like you actually don't have to. Maybe you should because you'd feel better and it'd be better for your health. But it's like if you're not in the mindset to do it, it's not going to work.
Well, and it goes back to, was it the last podcast? No, that was Gen X podcast prior to that, where you say, you know, can versus can't and may versus, I mean, it's not that we know as dietitians, the last thing you should say to anybody is you can't have that. You know, that just puts negative connotations on things and, you know, restrictions and whatever. It's like, you can have it. You can.
Maybe just you should start being like, you can't eat kale. You can't have kale under any circumstances.
That's right, because then all people will want is kale, right?
Yeah.
Reverse psychology.
I'm going to start doing that.
Reverse psychology, right? But it's true. I mean, it literally just comes down to a choice. And, you know, if you choose to have half a buttermilk bar on one day, then have it, you know, have a little taste of it and then be okay with just moving on, so, but the mindset is, what we tell ourselves is just so important. And that goes for everything in our lives, not just food. It goes with everything, truly. And then, but having the ability but having faith and having a regular practice, and it doesn't have to be anything lengthy. It can be 2 minutes in bed before you go to sleep doing some I ams. It can be, say, I am something 5 times, because it sets the subconscious up, because you're about to go into that sleep state, and the subconscious is more apt to absorb messaging at that time of the day. So, I am strong. I am fearless. That's one of my favorite lines. I am open. I am grateful. I am do some I ams. Matter of fact, you know what? That would be some great homework.
There you go.
I just
ding. You just I ammed yourself into homework.
I did. So the Whiskey Chick homework, unless Susie, you had something to say before I assign homework.
No, I was just going to say, this, because you said faith, and you kept saying faith, and that made me think of George Michael. And I was listening to him today for some reason. I've been dancing around my apartment a lot lately. I don't know why. Like I'm a goober. I can't dance, but I guess I can. But
it's good for you. It's movement.
Anyway, I was messaging my friend in Germany. You know who you are, and there was a song playing that she had. That I relate to her from years ago. It's a song by George Michael, and it's called Heal the Pain. And there's a line in the song that says, be good to yourself because nobody else has the power to make you happy. And I really just think that's amazing. So that's the only other thing I was going to say. So
yeah, but it's true. It's really true. Your happiness lies within you. And unless your soul's happy and doing what it's supposed to do, it's really difficult.
It's going to be crappy. That was dumb. Anyway.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. All right. All right. Get on with your housework, your homework.
Okay. So, homework tonight for the next, say, 3 nights. And if it sticks, take it longer than that. For the next 3 nights, as you're laying in bed, off your phone, TV off, you're getting ready to go to sleep, I want you to give yourself 5 I ams. Whatever you want, I am, maybe you're trying to manifest something, or maybe you're just trying to instill some positive thinking, or, maybe it's something about self-worth. It doesn't matter. I am strong. I am faithful. I am grateful. I'm hot.
I am hot.
I'm sexy. No, I am balanced. I am, just think of 5 I ams and say those for 3 nights in a row right before you go to sleep.
I like that. That's good homework.
Yep.
I'll even do that homework. Just kidding. All right, everybody. Well, we're going to end it there for today. We want to thank you for being with us on our journey, and for just, I don't know, we're all connected, just listening to us. We're all just people trying to make it in the meat suits. Anyway,
we're Amy just all souls walking the earth in our meat suits.
For those Silence of the Lambs fans, you have
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, there's a sequel if I've heard one.
How did Citrus get involved in all this? Anyway.
No, for all you Silence of the Lambs fans, that was hard to say. You can hear the song in the background. It's called Goodbye Horses. You know it. Goodbye horses. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Sweet dreams, everybody. Just kidding. Anyway, no, for reals. Everybody, thank you so much. Amy and I are so grateful that you are all here with us. And hey, we will know what old Nana would say.
Be true to yourself.